Your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. The Prisoners Legal Service has defended a social media post made by the teen driver convicted of killing Sarah Payno in a car accident in 2016. The man, who cannot be identified for legal reasons, is pictured giving the middle finger in front of a police car. He was released on parole earlier this month after serving 3.5 years of a 5-year manslaughter sentence. Greg Barnes says it's critical the man is rehabilitated into the community.
We ought to be focusing on making sure that this young man gets the support so he can come into the community and lead a fruitful life.
Both the government and the parole board declined to comment today. Huge turbines climbing as high as 200 metres are ready to be installed at a multi-million-dollar wind farm at Granville Harbour. Locals had the chance to see the equipment before it makes its way to the west coast in a special open day in Burnie.
It was a whirlwind tour in every sense of the word. A once-off open day which had Tasmanians within touching distance of the turbines and blades bound for Granville Harbour.
You can't help but look at it and go, this is some significant infrastructure, and I have to admit personally, get a little bit giddy just going, look, this is some really cool stuff that we get to move.
It's big infrastructure and big money. $280 million for 31 turbines producing enough energy to power nearly 50,000 homes.
Fair bit of pride actually once we have the finished product up.
Ironically, this used to be the site of Burnie's pulp and paper mill. It's now storing components for the much cleaner renewable sector, which is becoming a growing slice of the region's economic pie.
Renewable energy is sort of coming into its own nowadays. I think we have to diversify more.
Up next is the mammoth task of moving these parts to Granville Harbour, where the turbines will be built vertically, piece by piece. It'll be the tallest wind farm in the state, with the tip of the blades reaching 200 metres into the air.
The construction activity going on in Granville at the moment is more than 3 times all the other construction activity going on in the northwest coast of Tasmania.
Construction is due to be complete by the middle of next year. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
More than 1,000 students waved goodbye to years of study today, graduating from the University of Tasmania. 2 winter ceremonies were held at Launceston's Albert Hall, with students receiving degrees and diplomas in a range of subjects, including the arts, business, law and medicine.
Fantastic, yeah, really good. It's been such a benefit to what I'm doing, so I mean, it's great.
It's great to feel the culmination of the hard work, be able to celebrate my achievement with my loved ones, and also be here, be part of the university community and really share in the celebration.
150 Australian Maritime College students also graduated. After a long day's work, there's no time to sit back and relax for 2 staff members at Escley Foundation. The pair is training hard for a 790-kilometre trek across Spain, raising funds to help residents with disabilities.
A month in Spain sounds like a pretty nice holiday, but for these 2 women, it is much more than that. Carol and Debbie are walking almost 800 kilometres, so the residents with disabilities at Escley Foundation can quite literally sit back and relax. The women, both in their 60s, will be walking the famed Camino de Santiago trek across Spain, a gruelling 790 kilometres.
I'm very unfit, so we've just been pacing for an hour and some swimming.
The journey is expected to take between 30 and 35 days, with the women walking about 25 kilometres per day, longer than a half marathon. Carol and Debbie are hoping the trek will raise enough funds to buy Escley residents new and much needed recliners, providing comfort to residents who are otherwise wheelchair bound.
The chairs are pretty old and we really need some better quality chairs so that the residents are comfortable.
Mostly for their pressure care and also to make them comfortable so they can use their bodies to the best of their advantage.
While Escley does receive government funding, it is not enough to cover everything the facility needs.
We rely on a certain level of donations to maintain our operations.
And the ladies' secret to undertaking such a large adventure?
It's just going to be one foot in front of the other, I think.
Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
The next generation of scientists and engineers were on display in Hobart today. Students from across the state took part in the RoboCup, an event aimed at encouraging children to consider a career in the industry.
Future engineers getting a glimpse into the industry. 150 primary school students gathered at Utah's Sandy Bay campus for the annual RoboCup. Highly programmed robots were on display, some of which took months to complete.
Start in May or June to build the robots, plan out what they're going to do, and practice getting the robots really finely tuned.
In one challenge, the devices had to complete an obstacle course, while in another, the robots were put through their paces in a game of soccer. And some teamed up to create a dance sequence involving them and their creations.
I see it as a teacher, the improvement in the kids' ability to deal with complexity. And that's our goal.
Thomas Brown was Australia's representative at this year's Soccer World RoboCup, and today he was supporting the next generation. He says his passion for the industry began with this type of event.
Other open teams back then as well, I guess that kind of inspired me to start.
And today's entrants are also looking towards a similar pathway.
I like the idea of building things which help other people.
It's fun experimenting with the different ways that a robot can follow a line.
Mr. Elliott says the event is a way of making subjects like maths and science more relatable.
We want to give those students who have the talent and the interest to go on to be those rock star engineers that our society needs.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
To the TSL and North Launceston are currently in control against Glenorchy at KG5, leading by 21 points at half-time a short time ago. Earlier today, the Blues held off an impressive Kingborough outfit to come away with a narrow win at home, while overnight North Hobart finished their season off on the right note in a nail-biter against fellow cellar dwellers Clarence.
It was a first-round finals preview at Windsor Park as the Tigers looked to turn their horror track record at the ground around. But the Blues came out firing in the second quarter, booting 5 majors to swing the momentum in their favour, with Alec Wright doing the damage down forward. And when he wasn't slotting goals, he was creating them for coach Mitch Thorpe. In need of something special, the Kingborough boys provided it in a dominant third term, which saw them snatch the lead by kicking 8 goals to the home side's 1. But it was all they had left in the tank, the Blues keeping them scoreless in the final quarter to run away with a 7-point win. It was the Cole Garland show at North Hobart Oval overnight, with the former AFL recruit booting 6 goals to help his side along to a thrilling win over Clarence. Inaccuracy in front of the sticks for the home side, gifting the Roos a narrow lead at the first change, but there was no stopping Garland as the visitors struggled to find an answer for the towering forward, with his efforts even attracting the attention of his former Melbourne teammate Max Gawn.
I'm here with C. Garland, 3/4 time. What are your thoughts?
Please leave me alone, this is embarrassing. We're sending off the club champions. So.
Yeah, you've kicked 5 so far, is there a chance of 7?
All eyes on me this quarter.
Things remaining neck and neck on the scoreboard as the lead continued to change hands before Clarence levelled things at 60 points apiece 15 minutes into the final quarter. Keen to send club stalwart Ollie Divenuto off with a win in front of the D's faithful, the home side rallied to finish off their 2019 campaign with a 5-point win.
Former AFL tough nut Barry Hall has helped signal it along to a hard-fought win over New Norfolk in today's SFL elimination final. Hall was once again instrumental for the Power as the side clawed its way back into the match in a tense final quarter of play before running home the 14-point winners to book their spot in next weekend's semi-final. And there were emphatic scenes at the Launceston Silverdome a short time ago, with the Cavaliers claiming the 2019 State Netball League title in the first ever All-Northern decider against the Hawks. Last year's champions tried desperately to edge their way back in the match as the full-time clock wound down, but the Cavs held their nerve, denying the Hawks back-to-back titles with a 6-goal win. Young motocross riders have returned to racing in round 3 of the Barry Richardson Memorial Grass Track Series. Entrants as young as 5 took part in today's session at Yola. Senior riders hit the track tomorrow.
Good evening. The top temperature across the state was 19 degrees at Bushy Park today, Hobart 18, Launceston 15, Burnie and Devonport both 14. Friendly beaches, Maria Island and Grove all reaching 18 today, Flinders Island and Ouse 17, 15 at Strawn, St Helens, Lowhead and on King Island, Smithton 14 and Liaweenie 8 degrees. On the satellite, a bright, low to mid-level cloud band is moving over the state from the west. Embedded thunderstorms in the band can be seen just off the west coast. Here we see low-level cloud covering the Bight. A low to mid-level cloud band lies near Adelaide, stretching down over Tasmania and off to the southeast into the Southern Ocean. The rest of the country is mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow, a low and cold front sits over the Tasman Sea. That front extends over Sydney. A low pressure trough runs from the Gulf of Carpentaria to northern New South Wales, and there is a high over the northern Bight and another over eastern Queensland. Now looking to coastal waters, winds west to southwesterly 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots about the north and east, but decreasing to 10 to 20 knots in the north and east from midday. Seas 2 to 3 metres. There is a gale warning current for northeastern coastal waters from the northern tip of Flinders Island to Wineglass Bay. A strong wind warning for northern coastal waters from Sandy Cape to the northern tip of Flinders Island, and also for Banks Strait, Franklin Sound and lower eastern waters from Wineglass Bay to Tasman Island. There is also a warning for sheep graziers in the southeast and east coast districts. Tomorrow in the south, a partly cloudy day with 13 in Hobart and Richmond and ooze 12 degrees. An early frost, then a partly cloudy day for Launceston 14, 14 also in Devonport, Deloraine 12 with a morning frost. A partly cloudy day in Burnie 13, 11 degrees with showers for Strawn, and Curry showers increasing 13 there. St Helens and Swansea partly cloudy and 14, Whitemark mostly sunny 12 degrees. Looking ahead now, Monday showers about the west and far south, mainly fine elsewhere. Tuesday showers about the west and far south extending across the north during the afternoon and evening, fine elsewhere, and showers extending throughout during the morning on Wednesday, clearing from central parts in the evening. A partly cloudy day in Perth, Adelaide and Cairns, Melbourne and Sydney a possible shower, and a sunny day for most other centres. Currently it is raining and 9 degrees in Hobart, Launceston 13 and showers, Devonport 12 and cloudy. And Rachel, that's Saturday night's weather forecast.
Wonderful, thank you for that, Carmen. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.